This is actually part of the Chesil firing range. There are actually times on the website. If you Google Chesil firing times, it will tell you when they're actually operating in the area. You'll notice that there will be a red flag. If that red flag is flying, you must not continue. Unfortunately, you have to come back on a day when they're not firing. I'm not sure if you can hear me with all this wind today, unfortunately, but just going to have a quick look at the equipment that you require at this site. This particular location, you don't need very many tools at all. All you actually need is just some bags or some Tupperware, something to put your finds in. The one thing I would say is you do need some sensible footwear because it does tend to get rather muddy here.
Once you're on the beach, you want to head west because this part of the foreshore isn't very productive.
The tide times here can be tricky to work out. Sometimes the water takes a long time to drain from the Fleet Lagoon. 1 hour before Weymouth low tide is the best time to visit.
See any on the foreshore at the moment where I've just been looking, but I did find these earlier, and we have 3 crinoid stars, a nice tiny little one there, and a very, very tiny ammonite. So they are here, but unfortunately it is a hands and knees job, and with a bit of patience you'll be able to find them. Found this ammonite, which is called Cardioceras. We'll see if we can find some more.
The foreshore is absolutely full of various fossils. You do have to get on your hands and knees very close to the ground, and it's quite remarkable what you can actually find here. Even in this little area here, we do have a lot of belemnites, we have various parts of ammonites here, and here, these are quite common. It's difficult to see, but this is actually a piece of lobster. Now there are better examples found here. This is just a very small piece here. They normally sit in these little nodules, so if you look for this particular colour, you should recognise that the little black pieces here are lobster. You can get pincers and all sorts here too. The low cliffs here are part of the Oxford Clay Formation, which is Jurassic in age. This site is a site of special scientific interest and part of the World Heritage coastline. You can collect fossils, but digging in the cliff is not allowed.
This species of ammonite was found a few weeks back, and the species is Gwenstedoceras. It's actually quite a nice sized one, but these can be found within the clay.
These cliffs also yield quite a lot of selenite. Okay, it's not a fossil, but it's a nice crystal, and you do get quite a lot of these washed out on the foreshore. Some bigger sections than this as well. And here's another piece of selenite. The wave action along the fleet is gentle. Being situated behind Chesil Beach, we rely on the wind and the rain to gently wash and erode the clay. Because of the low rates of erosion, please only collect what you need and leave fossils for others to collect. So these are some more lobster pieces. They weren't found today. I did bring them along just in case we didn't find any from earlier. I'm just going to tip them out on my hand to have a look at them. As you can see, there's various different sections of lobster. And yet again, you've got this kind of this specific light sort of browny colour, almost sandy. This is where they find it in the nodules. There's various sections of lobster body in here. One of the easiest ways to identify them is these little bumps you can see. All the little pincers or sections. They're quite nice, aren't they?
So this is another piece of selenite just found sitting down in the clay there. It's quite a nice sized piece of selenite.
There's actually hundreds of belemnites you will find just scattered absolutely everywhere. Everywhere you look, these little tiny belemnites can be found. It's quite amazing how rich this place is in fossils. Wherever you look, you can find something. This is a piece of crinoid section here. The best place to actually find these fossils is actually in the very fine shingle. The finer is easier to see it. Where the sea has washed it out, it acts like a sieve. In fact, I've just seen a little shark's tooth that you have to go really close to see because it's quite small and quite delicate. Just get it in the light there, you can see a very small tooth. It's missing its root, but these can be found here. As well as the ammonites, belemnites, crinoids, lobsters and shark that we found today, you can also find crabs and crocodiles, fish and even reptiles. There really is a very wide range of fossils that can be found here. Often it's always the walking back when the best finds are made. On our return, Ali found another Crenstetoceras. This one was in perfect condition.